Alright, how's everybody doing? This is video 13 of my 98 Grand Cherokee 4.0 rebuild. It's been hours since the last one, but in the meantime, I said that I was going to clean up all the valves and take care of that, so I did. I cleaned the valve seats, and they were pretty grody, and then cleaned up the valves, made sure that they were going to seat properly, and then I cleaned everything out in the valve stems and put new valve stem seals on, put the valve springs back on, reassembled it, made sure that the cylinders were clean, put the new head gasket on, and it was an odd head gasket. I've never worked with it before. It was a three-piece head gasket, and it was held together by rivets, and it was made by Victor Rines, which is, I believe, a Clevite company. So I was kind of leery about it, but I said screw it, cranked it down anyway, put the new head bolts in, and tightened it down according to specs. And it was a three-step it was a three-step torquing process. First step was 25 pounds, the second step was 45, and then the third was 110 all the way around. Yes. And then, like I said, remember, when you're doing this, make sure you get sealant on this bolt, because this does go down into the coolant pocket in here. So you got to make sure you put some sealant on it, otherwise you're going to have coolant pissing out. And then I redid this one. I had this out when I was cleaning this and painting it, so I had to put thread sealant on that one as well. That's your coolant temp sensor. Got the timing cover on. Made sure my pin is in that camshaft, because it actually pushes up against the back side of this cover. Torqued everything down to specs. I had a nice bead of sealant going all the way around on the thermostat housing, on the water pump, and on the timing chain cover. But before I torqued it down, like I said, I had the old one in here just temporarily, but I put the old crankshaft pulley on here to help center that seal on the crankshaft itself. And then I torqued some of them down, and then I pulled it off, and then I torqued them all the way. I have not put the oil pan on. I will do that next week. I've spent a lot of long nights here this week getting this thing painted and cleaned and bolted back together, and I'm a little on the tired side, so not only that, the girlfriend wants to spend some time together, so I don't blame her. She's been patient enough. But got the new valve cover gasket in there, valve cover grommets, torqued all these down to spec, put everything back in the valve cover, and then but before I did any of this, like I said, I left the timing chain cover off, and I went ahead and I spanned the crankshaft to make sure I had good compression, and I wanted to do it to make sure that I wasn't going to have any valve clearance issues. It's always a most important thing to do. If you ever take the timing chain apart or the cylinder head off or anything, always make sure that you got your timing set right before you even fire it up. So before I did anything, I put a wrench down on the crank over here and turned on it, and it's got good compression. I have no valve problems with it hitting any pistons, so I know my clearance is good, and it's tight. So we'll see how this head gasket holds up. It seems to be pretty good. So next week I will continue on with a few more videos before I go and put this back in my Jeep, but I got the intake sitting over here. I gotta strip that down, get it cleaned up, and it's gonna be painted black, the same as all this stuff. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. So, any questions, comments, feel free to ask. Feel free to, do whatever you want. I appreciate you guys watching the videos, and hopefully something that I've done, has helped you guys along with something that you might not have seen or something you got a question on. So But if I'd miss something, you know, ask me. My memory is pretty good, so I'll be more than willing to answer your questions. So, alrighty guys, until next week, you know, I got oil pan sitting over there and a few more gaskets I got to put on, and then intake, and then I'll post a few more videos, and then that'll be it. And then it'll be back home and back in the Jeep. So, thank you guys for watching.